Hey Chi-Fis, it's Scott Benton here. How are you? I just wanted to give you a quick fundraising update as of July 12th, 2015. Here we go. Now, you may have seen some of the previous videos I've posted. The first one, the one on the left, is Russ Fletcher's original 10% challenge. And here's a clip from that video.
Well, my challenge is for any of the Chi-Fis that were there between 81 and 84, my years, that I'll throw in $1,000 with a minimum of 3 other boys and Chi-Fis to put in $1,000 as well. That way we've got Mike Coates' 10%, and you can just call us the 10% Club from the 81 to 84 time period.
Okay, so that was Russ Fletcher's 10% challenge. Then immediately after completing that particular challenge, we got into the 20% challenge.
If Russ Fletcher can put together the 10% Club, why don't we just double down based on the enthusiasm that we saw from our group, from our Chi-Fis, everybody wanting the house to come back to USC, and we said, let's double that, let's make a 20% Club challenge. This is going to be, so we call it the Scott Benton 20% Club Challenge. And in the 20% Club Challenge, what we're looking for is our goal is going to be 8,000 total in pledge donations. So I'm looking for donations, and these are pledge donations too. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more, but these are not actual cash donations. We're just looking for a promise at this point from people, from Chi-Fis who were in the house between the years that I was there as an undergrad and as a grad student in 1986 through 1992. Those were the years. Now, even if you weren't in the house during those years, you're still welcome to contribute either to the 20% Club or the 10% Club, Russ Fletcher's original challenge, if you like. But if we get $7,000 in pledged donations, which are just promises, not actual cash donations, then I'm going to contribute my own $1,000 into the pool, and that's going to bring us up to a total of $8,000.
So that's it. That's the 10% challenge and the 20% challenge. Russ Fletcher's original challenge and then my 20% challenge. And together, we completed both of them. We had reached $13,160, just a notch under the 1/3 mark between the two of us. So then came along Tom Vo, who I got a call from, and he wanted to launch the next challenge, and he recruited Matt Browning. And together, Tom Vo and Matt Browning launched what they call the 30% challenge. And here's a clip of a video I did with Matt Browning explaining their challenge.
The goal is to have 40,000 in committed pledges, basically promises to write a check at some point in the future. And so getting 30% of that 40,000, so roughly $12,000, is what we're after in these coming few weeks. Now, obviously, this is building momentum. There's been a couple of challenges thus far that have already raised 12 or 13,000, so we're well on the way. And so, in talking to Coates, he put the challenge to me. I said, "Well, if you've raised that much, I can certainly raise that much." And they've and you, Scott, have put together a lot of communications and a lot of sort of infrastructure to make this happen. So again, the least I can do, but we're going to go raise at least 12,000 in pledges so that we can have a list of names and amounts that we can demonstrate committed alumni support when we put that proposal together for SC.
So that's Tom Vo and Matt Browning's 30% challenge. And currently to date, July 12th, 2015, now they have set a goal to raise $10,000, and once they reach $10,000, they're going to contribute $2,000 for a grand total of $12,000. And right now they have been able to raise $9,000 total, which means they have $1,000 to go. And once they reach that $1,000 and all the money, we just have $1,000 to go. Once we reach that number, then here's what our total looks like. We'll be at $25,160. And here are the names of everybody so far who's contributed: Russ Fletcher, John Mansfield, George Cathcart, Bob Howard, Tom Emery, Mark Ordesky, Dave Johnson, Randy Bouvera, Vineet Thankey, Byron Countryman, Simon Wetzel, Howard Davis, Jonathan Whitaker, Ed Flanagan, Steve Broadbent, Don Milne, Jeff Brock in the name of Tim Steffi, Scott Benton, that's me, in the name of Matt Tomedy, Tom Vo, Matt Browning, Kim Shocknick, Bill Fisher, Todd Bellemere, Zach Bassford, Joe Becerra, Gary Stone, Scott Davis, John DeFrance, Mike Bolong, Tom Ara, and Mark Scarlatta. Those are the people that have contributed to date, and we are continuing our drive until we reach and cross the $40,000 mark. Our goal being $40,000. We still have $15,000 to $16,000 to go until we're there. So one thing we always like to talk about are what are pledge donations. What exactly are we looking for? Are we looking for cash donations right now? And the answer is we're not. We're just looking for a promise from you that you'll contribute later on once we get the approval from USC. There's a zero cash outlay right now because we don't have the invitation yet from USC to come back, but we're anticipating that we will. And if there's no invitation, then there's nothing you need to contribute. But right now, we are looking for a promise. Now, here's what the timeline looks like currently. And now keep in mind, we don't know if this is how it's going to play out. But we think right now that as of maybe around September, that's when the application is going to be due to USC for us to show that we are interested and demonstrate the support that we have to USC in coming back. And then, and National's going to be submitting that application to USC. And then in February or March of 2016, we think, we don't know, but we think that's when USC is going to announce who they're inviting back to campus. Now, keep in mind, we're not the only ones who are going to apply. There are going to be other organizations, so there's a little bit of a competition that we're going to have to face, and we're going to need to show USC that we're serious about our return, and one of the ways we can do that is by reaching and hopefully crossing the $40,000 line in pledge donations that we have, so that when the time comes in February, March, if we get our approval and USC does formally invite us back to USC, at that point, that's when we're going to be asking you to make those actual donations, not just promises anymore, but actual cash donations. And National is going to set up a website to help us accomplish that. One of the questions that has come up recently is just exactly how old was our house in its entirety? And that's not such an easy question to answer, but here you see a picture of what it looked like in 1934. Obviously, this is the house that was there before the house that most of us joined and lived in. For a little bit of reference, this house used to belong to a family that owned a dairy in Los Angeles, and then it was eventually, in 1934, it was purchased by, 34, it was bought by the Chi Phi fraternity, and we owned it until about 1999. Now the university owns that space, but that was 720. So the question of how old is our house, there are really three answers to that. If you're measuring it based on Eta Delta's founding, which was 1934, and you go from 1934 until the time when we lost it, which was 1999, that makes us 65 years old. Now, if you measure it from the time Sigma Tau was at USC, and they're the ones that petitioned the Chi Phi fraternity to become a national, they were a local fraternity. They were established in 1910, so 1910 to 1999, that makes our house 89 years old. Now, Sigma Tau had also partnered up with Theta Psi. Theta Psi and Sigma Tau were both local fraternities. They got together, petitioned Chi Phi, and became Eta Delta. Theta Psi was established in 1897, and if you measure it from 1897 to 1999, then that makes our house in existence for a total of 102 years at the USC campus, which is a long time. So here are just a few of the pictures that I've been able to find of people and different groups that were affiliated with our house over time. Right now, if you went to the row and you went to 720 West 28th Street, this is what you would see. You would see the Lambda Chi Alpha house, and you can tell that they've done a little bit of work to the house. They put in the windows upstairs and the sliding doors downstairs. But if you go over there, that's what it looks like. You can walk in and tell them you were a Chi Phi and that you used to live there, and they'll be happy to give you a tour. I went over there a few months ago, and they couldn't have been nicer, and they're really taking good care of the house. But unfortunately, Chi Phi is not there anymore, And that is our goal, to make it back to campus and return to a place that has been our home for a very long time. And this is where we need your help. This is where we need your pledge contributions, and we need you to contact us, because without your help, we're just not going to be at USC anymore, just like we aren't right now. But we have a small window of opportunity, and we have a chance to return. But it's really going to take all of us to get there. So if you do want to make a pledge donation, or if you want to maybe even increase the amount that you've already donated, some people have done that, then please contact Tom Vo at thomasvo, THOMASVO _USC@msn.com, or Matt Browning at matthew@msbrowning.com, MATTHEW @MSBROWNING.com. I know that's annoying, sorry. Mike Coates at mcoates@LACouncil1.com, or you can contact me, Scott Benton, which is scott.benton@icloud.com, or preferably contact all of us. That would be really helpful too. So that's it. That's the fundraising update as of July 12th, 2015. Please support us. Please support our return to USC, and thanks very much. Take care.